Welcome, everyone, to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And we got good news in gaming news tonight. Old Steam is advocating for gamers again. At least it seems that way. Seems that way to me. Steam is tightening up their rules for games with Season Pass DLC. They're basically saying you have to commit or give everybody a refund. So they're saying you have to commit that content on time, which is good because how often are, season one passes or year one passes and items within them are delayed? They're like, we have like a step thing where you're going to get 2 or 3 pieces of content throughout the year. And usually like by the time the second one's ready to roll out, they're pushing it back. And then that pushes the third one outside of a year one pack and all that. So Valve has unveiled this new policy about season passes on Steam, which aims to ensure that developers release all the individual DLC involved on time and share adequate details about each DLC pack in advance. It specifies that developers can delay release of a season pass DLC just once, only once, and by no longer than 3 months. In the event that a developer postpones DL release by any longer than 3 months, Valve may take such corrective actions as removing the season pass from sale or refunding players. So they're saying by offering a season pass, you are promising future content. This comes from a Steamworks post where all this information's at, which circulated on Blue Sky, which is like a Twitter knockoff or something. I don't know. I never heard of Blue Sky. I don't use it. No.
It's the new Twitter.
It's the old Twitter. It's still keeping the Bluebird, right?
It's the old Twitter in the new world.
Right. So in the process of launching a season pass, you will be asked to commit to a launch timing for each content release in the season pass. It reads that launch timing is a commitment to both customers and to Steam. So to me, this seems like Steam is advocating for gamers by saying, hey, we'll give you a little bit of leeway. And that leeway is you can push one time, 3 months. That's it. Anything longer, we're going to either delist you and refund the customer's money or just refund the customer's money. So it says if you aren't ready to clearly communicate about the content included in each DLC and when each DLC will be ready for launch, you shouldn't offer a season pass on Steam. I'm in agreement with that, right? If you're offering me a season pass, you better have a clear roadmap. But because I don't know about you guys, but I feel like 70 to maybe even as high as 80% of crap that comes out on Steam these days is early access with maybe a roadmap. Because I thought when all this early access stuff was going on, Steam had some rules in place about early access and about roadmap and about release. And it was supposed to be like roadmap with a release no longer than like 18 months or something. And that shit went out the window quick, right? Now we have early access that goes on for freaking years and years and years. And some stuff never leaves early access. It's just like the developers keep throwing stuff in the game, or there'll be months without an update. And then all of a sudden, here's a content pack, or here's an update to fix this critical issue that was going on 3 months ago, right? So it continues on about the article about selling a season pass has risks. Since you are promising the release of future content, you have to commit to completing it. So I am really, I think this is a good thing, at least for me. And I don't buy DLC and season passes very often. I have to really like something to buy a DLC or a season pass. And usually the only reason I buy a season pass is something like, I'll use Diablo 4 as an example, because you get a premium pass with it usually to get the premium season pass stuff, not have to pay extra. So, I don't know. I like this. What do you guys think? We're going to go around and feel what everybody thinks. I'm going to go to the guy with the largest Steam library amongst us, doubles mine, quadruples Shane, been in Steam since the beginning. Nick, how do you feel about this new rule? Are you in favor? Do you feel like Steam is advocating for us, or do you think they have other sinister things afoot? Does Gabe have sinister plots afoot?
Well, it's a company, so I'm sure there's another incentive for doing this, but it is good for us, I think. And especially, there's got to be something that I don't know what it is exactly, but it has to be something that has, forced Steam's hand to enact this, right? And that could be a lot of companies, getting a lot of negative feedback from consumers, the users on Steam, because of poor communication from other developers and DLC that doesn't, happen and stuff like that. And then once they buy that, there's no way, no recourse for refund or anything when a company decides that they're just going to abandon their DLC, because sometimes that happens, right? It's just not working out for them. The game didn't do as well, so they decide like halfway through, they're done, right? And then you only get half the content, so the user should be refunded that money, and in some cases they might be, but not in all cases. So I think Steam is looking at this like, hey, and I think it's good for everybody, especially in development too, because you should have, if you're going to offer um, DLC or future content, you should have a roadmap that says when this content is going to come out, what you're expecting to have, when you're expecting to have it, and and you should have a dedication to have that out there. Now it's fine if you need to delay it, and Steam is giving you an option, but you can't delay it so far. You can't be like, oh no, we need another year or two or whatever. Then you should have thought of that when you made your roadmap, right? And what so I think that allows or makes developers think more critically about how they want to map things out, and what DLC they want to introduce, and what they know they can and cannot get out within the time frame that they say they're going to have it. Without just like, because there's a lot of developers we know that will throw out like future DLC stuff, and you have no clue when it's going to come out, right? You have no clue. They don't have a clue, right? And then sometimes it's like that DLC is years down the line, and by that time the DLC hits the store, you're like, I haven't played this game in like 2 years. I probably will never touch it again, right? And so it's I mean, I guess they could still say that in their timeline, but they have to have a clear timeline so that people know what they're buying, right? And that makes a more informed decision for the player on whether or not they want to buy that. I like seeing a timeline of stuff. Like if you're going to have stuff, like I want to see when that's expected to be out, so I know, if I am going to buy DLC for something, that kind of informs my decision on whether or not I'm going to buy it, right? And what that DLC is. You don't have to get like super into the weeds with what you're going to introduce in there, but give me a short paragraph of what it is, and then I'm like, okay, cool. Because sometimes places also say they're going to release DLC, and you have no idea what the hell they're talking about. Like the DLC, it has a name, and you're like, what is that? Like, is that a gun? Is that a level? Like, is that a mission? Like, what is this? And so they're like, you buy pay it's $40 and you get this, and you're like, I don't even know what the hell this is. So, and they don't tell you, and no one seems to know, and it's all speculation until it gets up there. Then when it finally releases, it's like, oh, this was crap. Um, so it's better to lay that out there, so that way users can make informed decisions. So yeah, I think this is a good thing from Steam. Hopefully they'll go back with early access stuff. I know this doesn't have to do with that, but hopefully they go back to what they were doing with early access, and having strict guidelines for that too. Because yes, we do have a lot of games that go into early access, and a lot of games that go into early access with no clear roadmap. Now we do have some games that go into early access with a very clear roadmap, and they usually hit that. I mean, Subnautica, I think, is a pretty good. That developer has been pretty good with their early access releases of Subnautica and Subnautica 2 about when they do early access, one, keeping the player base informed on what they're doing, updating it quite often, and having a really kind of concrete timeline on when they're going to be releasing it, right? 7 Days to Die didn't. Right. It finally, after like 7 years or something like that, finally went into 1.0. The only saving grace about 7 Days to Die though is they updated that game like constantly. That game constantly got updates, and it's regardless it took so long, it's still a fun game. So I can't knock it too much, but but Star Citizen is probably, and they're on Steam, but they're probably the worst one at keeping to early access and to like a specific timeline for things, right? So it's good to keep developers and publishers in a confined within a strict timeline on things, because that helps out the player base and helps out inform consumers on their purchases, right? Instead of just throwing money at something and hoping it works out. So yeah, I think overall it's a good thing. What do you think, Shane?
Yeah. Anything that helps protect the consumers is a good thing. And I think this is a policy that does help. I'm just like Pat. I don't buy DLC hardly ever, loot boxes. I don't buy all this additional crap that comes out after a game. Season passes, things like that. Yeah, okay, you're paying extra for content you don't have a full, clear idea about, and most of the time they just kind of use buzzwords and okay, then you get it in 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever. I don't agree with any of that. I typically will never partake in that. But this will help this will help control the developers from misinforming intentionally. I mean, how many times have you heard, "Oh, X is going to come out this time"? Well, X didn't really happen. Bob got flu, and we had to postpone things 6 months. So everything's 6 months back now. All right, well, give me my money. Well, we can't do that because we already paid Bob. Well, damn it, Bob. You don't have no control on that. But this is giving you a little a modicum of control on your money now, which they need. I think the gaming consumer has been too lax with allowing developers and publishers to do things that are just wrong. Early access to me is a ripoff. If I play, or to me, early access used to be called a beta or a demo. You know, you got to play it a little bit ahead of time. You know, you could fill out a form, say, "Hey, this is what I like." Now you're paying for something that may or may not come out later. Star Citizen, you brought up, is a frickin' scam. It's just a load of horseshit scam. That thing, my kids weren't even born when that thing was announced for that, you know, and I've got a 22-year-old now. This is that's the kind of crap.
Well, they have a roadmap now with a 1.0 delivery on it.
See, that's not a roadmap. That's a prostate exam. That's
when are they expecting 1.0?
Yeah. Well,
they have a set of targets that's listed on there with updates, and says when we reach this update, and they're posting like it's an interactive one. They'll say 1.0 will release at this time.
See, that's a ripoff. Those people should be sued because all they're doing is milking and milking and milking. But it's not their fault. People are giving it to them. People are just allowing them to reach in and pull whatever out they want, and that's just wrong. That's why the gaming industry is screwed right now. I think we need more policies that protect the consumers. This is the type that does. If you guys pre-order a game and it doesn't come out on time, you should be instantly refunded. You guys pre-order DLC, instantly refunded if it's not on time, and all that. Hell, you know what? I think they should be punished. I think if you guys ordered, let's say you got the season pass for Call of Duty, that season pass doesn't come out on time, you get an instant refund plus an extra 10. Screw them. They should be penalized. That'll force them to stay on track, to not say things that they're not fully confident they can do. You know, I'm tired of, games being announced that never come out. I'm tired of, crap being delayed, and, they should have never announced it 6 years early and things like that. We need consumer protection because the consumers aren't protecting themselves because we just keep going, okay, here's my wallet. No, we got to stop that shit. I like the fact that Steam is doing this. I think I want to know how a policy like this will affect consoles. Will console market, try to do anything similar to that? Will it basically kind of unintentionally transfer over to the console market, because let's say it's a PC console game, and they know they can't miss their mark for the PC or release for Steam. Uh, how will that affect the consoles? That's kind of what I'd like to hear about too. I think that should be a universal thing, that you're instantly protected and instantly refunded. Plus 10. I think they should give you an extra $10 for screwing you over. That's just me though.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I can't see the negative in this so far. So I don't know what Steam's getting out of this. What are they getting out of this besides customer satisfaction? Maybe that's good enough for them. I don't know.
A happy customer is a paying customer.
Yeah. The more that they see that Valve is looking, or Steam is looking out for us, the more they're more apt to buy from them, I would imagine, right? I mean,
it did work for Microsoft for a little bit, right?
Right.
When they were all consumer friendly.
Right. And now they're just like, we don't want a console. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, and I'm pretty sure that the whole Epic Game Store is probably putting a little bit of dent in their sales, maybe they're trying to win back some of that loyalty. The only thing I can say is Steam start giving away some free games, right? I've heard they give away occasionally free games on Steam, but I don't think I've hardly ever come across anything that's free.
Sometimes they do, and they're not really that great games when they do.
Yeah. They're super old or something, or not very popular. But yeah, so, I think that, I think it's a good thing. And can't really find a negative in this. Maybe a negative for the developers who can't keep their word and push stuff out on the market on time. But for a gamer, I'm all for it. But like I said, I very rarely pre-purchase DLCs and season passes, but I have. It's like I have never.
I mean,
I've done it. So, good things all around, I think. So not much to say about this one, except for good job, Steam, and we're looking forward to this. And we'll hold you to it when the first developer can't meet their timelines and pushes out a DLC 6 months. And then, do I get an auto refund? What happens if that season pass included 3 games or 4 games, and we got 2 out of the 3 or 3 out of the 4? Do we still get a refund?
They would probably find a way to break it down. If it was $30, 3 games, 2 came out, you get 20 or something like that.
Maybe, who knows? We'll see. But so that means that time will tell what will happen here. Good things all around. Good job, Steam. Good job, Gabe. You guys got anything else? I think we're done with this one.
Nope. I think Steam is doing a good job, and they're at least pretending on the surface to care about the consumer.
They're trying to earn your business back. That's all we can ask
for.
Yep. Trying to win you back. Steam is lonely, and they want you to come back.
Oh.
So
I heart
we've reached the end of this episode. If you're not subscribed, come on, help out the hungry gamers out there. Shane will pose with a little Sarah McLaughlin video of, for you. And
that pose. Sorry.
Yeah, that pose. No, not that pose. We need you to look sad, and we need you to look emaciated. So, feed a hungry gamer.
I'm way too fat for emaciated.
Okay, we'll have to use Nick. In this one.
Yeah, skinny ass.
Yeah, so, subscribe, help us out, hit that bell to get notified when we put out new videos, do all that stuff, help us out so that we can keep BSing about video games, because that's what we enjoy to do. We talk about video games all the time, on and off of this channel. So let us know what you think. Add your comments. You like it, you hate it, we still want to hear about it, So let us know what you think down in the comments. And as always, we hope you enjoyed this episode and hope to catch you in the next one.
See ya.